Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. So in this video we are going to be reviewing Logan, which is Hugh Jackman's final swan song outing as the popular character of Wolverine. Now Hugh Jackman has been in pretty much every single X-Men and standalone Wolverine movie. So this is his final outing as the character, which also doubles up as Charles Xavier's final outing from Sir Patrick Stewart as the actor. It is also the final film in the X-Men Fox timeline, so it really does serve as the final kind of conclusion to that whole world from the Fox universe. And as this is an R-rated movie, it really does demonstrate how effective comic book movies can be if they do push the boundaries and make themselves R-rated. So with all that being said, let's get on with the review for Logan. So in terms of the plot of this movie, it's set in the future where mutants have actually become extinct, and the last few mutants that exist are Wolverine, Xavier and Caliban, who is kind of like a mutant real life version of Cerebro, so it can tell where mutants are and if they are nearby. And hearing that, you can just tell that as soon as Caliban goes on the villain side, there is going to be absolute anarchy. Now at the same time as this, there is a military organization known as Transigen, and they are kind of creating mutant child clones based on the DNA of previously existing mutants. Now one of those child clones is X-23, who is kind of like the child version of Wolverine, kind of like his biological daughter, who has the same adamantium claws that he does and also shares a lot of his powers and abilities. Now the movie then becomes the traditional mutant cat and mouse storyline, whereby Xavier, Wolverine and X-23/Laura are trying to run away from Transigen, who are kind of chasing them. So a lot of cat and mouse chase scenes with Wolverine, Xavier and X-23 trying to reach the fable land known as Eden. Now in terms of the characters and actors in this movie, now I'm a massive fan of the ensemble X-Men movies. I love having loads of X-Men characters in a movie, loads of Brotherhood characters, loads of X-Men characters, and seeing how all of these guys interact. But in this movie, they've really stripped it down to just a few characters, and so it is really nice from a different point of view in terms of there's a lot of character growth, character development, character narrative with having such a focused group of characters in Logan, and it really works for the themes and storytelling in this movie. So let's go through them one by one. So first up, we obviously have the legendary Hugh Jackman back as his final outing as a Wolverine character. He plays the old man Logan aspect of this character from the comic book, so it's a little bit different to what you've seen before, but like I said before, it really works for his final outing in this movie. As it is an R-rated movie, you do get to see a lot of raw scenes with this character, but equally at the same time, because there's X-23/Laura in this movie as well, you also get to see the paternal side of this character, which is really interesting too. We also have Sir Patrick Stewart, who makes his final appearance as the Charles Xavier character. Now Charles Xavier in this movie is 90 years old and suffers from dementia, which causes seizures, which causes a lot of destruction around him. And it is said that these seizures and destruction cause the loss of a lot of the X-Men characters, so that's really sad. It's also really sad to kind of see this legendary character in this kind of state, but you know, as it is a final swan song movie, it is really nice to kind of have this character saying goodbye in such an epic fashion. We then have Dafne Keen, who did a really good job as playing artificial clone child X-23/Laura. Now this character was going to continue the franchise on, but obviously after the Disney Fox merger that didn't end up happening. But that being said, I really liked how this character had a slightly different narrative in this movie. Obviously we have Wolverine and Xavier kind of saying their goodbye in this movie, but then we have a bit more of a hopeful storyline as far as the mutants are concerned through X-23 and Laura, whereby, you know, she's going from being a child laboratory experiment/weapon to kind of looking for her freedom and fighting for her freedom and kind of working with Wolverine and Xavier to kind of reach Eden. So I feel like her narrative worked really nicely alongside Wolverine's and Xavier's. So those are the three main characters in this movie. We then have a lot of supporting cast in this film as well. So we obviously have the heads of Transigen, who are kind of looking to find Xavier, X-23 and Wolverine and then inevitably destroy them. So they're kind of like the main villains in this movie. We then have X-24, who is a younger Logan clone, and he kind of acts as a bit of a Winter Soldier type character who kind of pops up here and there and kind of tries to slow the group down. And he really shows a contrast from the older Logan Wolverine character to the younger Wolverine clone character. So those kind of battles between those two characters are really, really interesting. We then have Caliban, who, like I said before, is kind of like the humanized mutant version of Cerebro, and he can kind of tell where mutants are, so he's a really useful character in his own right as well. We then have the other human helper characters, so the human characters that are helping Wolverine, Xavier and X-23. And as is the case with humans and mutants, you don't necessarily know if they're characters that are helping really these characters or if they're going to turn them in, so you don't really know if they're friends or if they're foes. And then finally we have the other child laboratory experiment mutant characters who, like X-23, are trying to run and try to find Eden. So these characters represent the potential future of mutants within the X-Men Fox universe. So as you can see, all of the characters and actors in this movie do a really, really good job. A lot more stripped back and a lot more focused than the typical ensemble X-Men world of movies. But like I said before, it is really nice, as you know, because of the fact that they are so much more focused, you can really see rich character history and character direction in this movie. So from a characters and actors point of view, this movie is really strong. So from a visuals point of view, I would say this movie does look really, really cool. I would say though that the tone is a bit sad / hopeless, in a little bit of the same way that Avengers Infinity War had that as well. But that being said, as it's rated R, the fight sequences are very raw and very intense. But what I would say is that it's a lot less glossy than the other X-Men movies as a result. But that really suits the visual style and the visual aesthetic that they're trying to communicate in Logan. In terms of comparisons, I did really enjoy Logan, and so I would definitely say that it's the best solo Wolverine movie out there. So much better than Wolverine X-Men Origins, and so much better than the Wolverine as well. So Logan is definitely better than, you know, those two. But what I would say is that I am personally a massive fan of ensemble X-Men movies, and whilst Logan was a cool movie, I did prefer the past suite of movies and the present suite of X-Men movies, and I also did prefer the Gifted TV series to the Logan movie as well. So, you know, whilst this is a cool movie, I do personally prefer the more ensemble X-Men cast movies that are out there. In terms of the ending of this movie, we see what everyone would have predicted with this film, which is seeing Charles Xavier passing away and Wolverine passing away as well. But Wolverine's ending is so epic in the sense that he kind of takes the final serum to boost his abilities with one final massive outing where he helps save X-23, allows all of the child clones to kind of go to Eden, and kind of has this mass destruction final battle. So, you know, as far as the ending goes, very, very epic, very perfect, and the perfect kind of send-off for the Wolverine character. It would have been nice to kind of see what would have happened next for the X-23 clone character and the other child suite of mutant characters as well, but, you know, I'm sure it'll be a very long time before we see anything like this in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, you know, for the moment, it is a really nice epic ending for the Logan character. It would have been nice to kind of see what would have happened next, but, you know, that being said, the ending of Logan is super epic and a brilliant send-off to both the Charles Xavier character and the Wolverine character as well. So overall, I did really enjoy Logan. I thought it was an excellent outing for the Hugh Jackman actor and for the Wolverine character as far as the X-Men Fox universe is concerned. So I thought, you know, it was a brilliant outing for the actor and for the characters. I thought it was a very raw, a very real movie, and just really brilliantly kind of concluded everything for the X-Men Fox universe, which is really, really cool. I am still hoping that there will be some kind of a cameo from Hugh Jackman's Wolverine character in the MCU, which will be really, really epic. I know he's constantly said that this movie is his final outing, but, you know, he did also kind of want to be featured in the MCU, so I'm hoping that one day, even if it is just a brief cameo, we will kind of get to see this character again popping up, even if it's for like 5 minutes or something like that, that we'll get to see him again in the MCU. But that being said, as far as the Logan movie is concerned, I really, really enjoyed it, and for all of those reasons, I'm going to give it a solid 6.5 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.